Hello, my inky friends. It's Cindy Lynn with My Inky Fingers. Thank you so much for joining me today on my YouTube channel and blog for another Stampin' Up! Christmas card. You guys are loving this Christmas in July series, so I'm loving that you're loving that. Today, I wanted to make a card with a stamp set from the current catalog that's not necessarily Christmas because you guys can't order from the mini catalog yet. I just pre-ordered. My order is stuck at the border. It's been stuck there since Thursday and it's Sunday right now. Driving me crazy, but nevertheless. So here's a card that you can make with the Nothing's Better Than bundle because it's all about the cookies. Now I positioned that stamp in my Stamparatus and I cut enough 2.5 by 1.5 whisper whites to make 4 of each cookie. Now, I did have some extras from my first test run that I put on the inside. If you want cookies on the inside, stamp a couple extra. Now, I stamped that cookie in black on the back of my test cookies because I wanted to be able to position this stamp over top. And it was really difficult to see with the Sahara sand that we stamped off and inked the second color, or stamped the second color, right? And we did that because we wanted our cookies to kind of resemble sugar cookies, a little bit lighter. So I do have some extras here because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need, so I did stamp some extras, but I ended up only using 4 of each color. Now I'm going to come in with the Granny Apple Green and stamp over top of that because they're Christmas cookies and we need green and we need red. So I'm going to pull out the real red and I'm just going to clean my stamp off, put in the next 2 sets of paper that have 2 cookies each on them, stamp that real red on there, and I mean I'm just loving this. And you know, it's really funny, when I was done I felt like I had the Grinch that stole Christmas. I think that's the movie, but you know, the Grinch. I thought I had his color theme going. It was really kind of cool. Now for the last 4 cookies, I want them to be glittery. Now this is retired Stampin' Up! Glitter embossing powder, but you can make your own with silver, white, and then just grab some glitter, any glitter that you have that's, you know, kind of resembles snowflake type color, you know, not too many colored, and you could use colored flecks in it if you want. Any shimmer that your little heart desires, mix those, or glitter that your heart desires, mix those together and you'll create your own glitter embossing powder. So I'm using my destatification tool there so that I don't get extra all over, but really you could skip this step because a little extra glitter in your life on these cookies isn't going to make the world of difference because we're die cutting them out anyway. So I'm just going to go in with my retired one because I got to get this used up. I mean, it'll probably take me 20 years because you know how long embossing powder lasts. Now I'm going to heat set that till it's nice and smooth and melted, and I've got my little glitter cookies. Love that. Gotta have my glitter on my paper, on my cards. So now I'm looking at the green and the red and I'm thinking, you know, they're a little flat next to this like glittery kind of cookie, right? So I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Up! Retired glitter, and you can use any glitter, same glitter that you made your first embossing little glitter mixture with, like I just showed you. But I'm going to come in first with some clear, and you got to kind of be a little bit quick here. So I'm going to come in with the clear and I'm going to heat set that till it's nice and smooth. And then as you can see, I'm keeping the gun on it. And now I'm just going to toss a little glitter over the top because unlike the other glitter, it doesn't cover the color because the other embossing powder, I guess I should say, had the white and the silver in it, and it'll cover up your greens and reds, right? So I just rinsed and repeated that 4 times, and now I'm going to use the coordinating die from the Love You More Than dies. And I'm going to cut those all out. Now, I just kind of wanted to create a little bit of a scene. I kind of wanted it to look like the cookies were kind of on the table. I don't know, they might look like the floor, whatever. And then I wanted like a picture. Now this here, if you watched my happy birthday easy card I did last week, I'll link it up here. I cut this green strip off because I wanted more of the purples and blues, but I said I would use it, and now I'm using it. So I cut out the word Christmas from the word wishes in green and 2 times in whisper white. Now I also did the cookies from the Love You More Than dies 3 times, okay? Because I wanted everything to be 3 layers high. I wanted it to kind of pop off the page a little bit. Now I didn't stay with the white with the cookies because I found the word cookies just kind of disappeared in all those cookies. God, we got a lot of cookies going on here. So who do you know that loves, loves, loves cookies? I mean, this is the perfect card for somebody who loves cookies at Christmas, right? Now, of course, I did use the playful alphabet dies. If you watched my unboxing, you knew or heard me say I'm going to use that an awful lot. And in classic Cindy Lynn style, I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to pull out my Aleene's tacky spray and I'm going to spray the bottoms of the layers. Now, the means, I only went 2. I think I said I went 3 layers, but I only went 2 on that because it was already on a layer for the frame. Now, I want to show you guys a little trick that I came up with here. And you've probably already thought of this, but I hadn't. So I am always putting the top layer onto the next layer down, and that was the one that had the glue. And this is repositionable, but you can see here that I'm really messing with this, trying to get it all perfect and straight on there. And I actually decided with this one, hey, what if I just lay my tweezers down and then I have 2 hands free? Because see here, now I can kind of line it up a little easier. I mean, face palm, I never even thought of this. Do you have tweezers on your workspace? I mean, do you not have tweezers? If you don't have tweezers, what do you use? I mean, this is definitely a tool that I have to have in my life. Let me know if this is something you have to have in your life or if you use something totally different. So as you can see here with the tweezers, holding it there, lining it up perfect with my spray, didn't get any splooging, saved some time. I'm happy with that. So I'm also going to use up some of those extras that I stamped because I kind of laid out my card and I saw I did have some extras. So I cut those out rather than just using another piece of scrap Whisper White paper. So I did 3 more just plain cutouts there because I wanted to just add a little dimension to 3 of my cookies, and I did 1 of each color so that they weren't all completely flat. And you can do more, you can do less, you don't have to do any of that. It's your card, you decide. So this here is the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and I cut that to 1.5 by 4 3/8. It was a little long, so I'm going to trim it up, but it's the same color as my card top that I'm holding there, which is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So the 4 3/8, I cut it a little longer, as you could see, just so that I got positioning because I didn't want to use my glue here. I'm trying to fall in love with the Stampin' Seal. And while it's not love yet, it's not lust either. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. I'm trying to learn to love it. So now I pulled out the brick and mortar embossing folder because I just felt the back of that card laid a little bit too flat. And if you emboss it afterward, you can line it up perfectly, and then you still get a nice flat adhering of your designer series paper there. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue, and I'm trying not to push these down too much because, you know, as I think I know where I want them to go, I may want to kind of move them around. So I'm going to speed this up really quick. But as you can see, I'm just kind of playing with them, and I want some to show the little bites out of them and some to not show the bites out of them. But I kind of wanted that whole corner full of cookies. Now, I'm just going to line this up, eyeball it, and you could use a piece of Post-it tape or a piece of washi tape or something and, you know, kind of put it across the top, lift that up, and then, you know, put all your glue and put them back down. I don't got time for that. So I'm just doing it all by hand, by eye. So I've already glued those together off screen when I sprayed them. So I'm just waving it a little bit because this is the shimmer, the retired shimmer paper. Sorry, it is retired. You can't get this, but I'm trying to use it up. But I find that when you're using not shimmer paper, it's kind of like a glitter paper because you can feel the glitter on the top. The Tombow liquid glue needs to kind of be tacky, or they just want to slide and not really glue down there. So I'm just waving it just to kind of air dry it a little bit. So now that this is all nice and dry, I'm going to bring out my mini paper trimmer. And guys, if you're a demo, this is in the supply section right now. I don't know for how long, if it's limited or if it's just they had extras, but if you want one, get them before they're gone. And my mini trimmer was a little bit not very strong to do that because there were so many layers with adding dimension to those cookies. So I had to pull out the big gun. So I just kind of laid that all down there. And I like how it kind of looks like a little bit of a picture, you know, like it's got a sign and whatnot. And now, as you can see, I cut out the word cookies out of the same green I did the Christmas because it was laying too flat on all those cookies. I wanted it to pop a little bit more. So I've got a bunch of dimensionals on the means, and the word Christmas, I didn't put anything behind it because it was so thick with 3 layers that I think it's going to stand up no problem. So I didn't even bother putting dimensionals behind the tops of the C, the H, and the T up there. No big deal. And then for the cookies, I just put glue on it and glued it right down. Now, these are the cookies that I kind of made before I made the card, just to see kind of how, I kind of do that sometimes, see how everything, lays out and if it looks good. And I actually cut these out by hand. I didn't even cut them out with my dies. I forgot I had dies. But you know what? They went perfect on the inside. So I'm going to wait till those are nice and dry. And then I'm going to trim up the sides. And I'm just going to use my liquid glue, make sure I've got some in my corners because I don't want any dog ears on this card. And I love the liquid glue because it gives you that wiggle room to get that perfectly straight. Put my F block on there so that it can get a nice stick adhesion down there. Now, I thought there's a lot of shimmer and stuff going on here, but there's a lot of white space too. So I don't want to go too crazy, but I just love these elegant faceted gems. I mean, I gotta have them on this card. And the clear ones, they just add that perfect little bit of pop without being too loud, right? I love it. So tell me down below who in your life loves cookies and would love this card. And until I see you again, take care and happy stamping.